Hi everyone, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues. The objective of this channel is men's liberation and empowerment to help us in the war against masculinity called feminism. I'll be attempting to address every aspect of masculinity and every masculine topic of every nature, from manliness to MGTOW and men's rights, the politics of masculinism to machismo, misogyny, misandry, male sovereignty and supremacy, and self-actualization as a man. I'm going to be debating feminism and disproving its poor excuse for rhetoric, and just trying to bring about a return to the patriarchal values society once thrived upon. I'll be exercising my full right to free speech here by speaking out against women and saying things that normally get censored on platforms like YouTube and Facebook and get entire speakers deplatformed, as I have been multiple times on each of those places as a sex educator who refused to conform to the feminist narrative and has always spoke my mind and told things how they were. And so I was stifled, and it negatively impacted my business. So now I'm here to speak out against this feminist tyranny, and I'm not afraid of being accused of using hate speech and being misogynistic against women. In fact, that's one of my very intentions here on this channel. It isn't just for woman hating, though. It's also for glorifying men and masculinity and the prestige of the patriarchy. But what this channel is not for is things like teaching you how to be an alpha male or a pickup artist and, how to get laid and be sexual as a man. This is not going to be another sex ed channel. I've already done sex ed channels. If you want to check out my sex ed content, and learn how to get laid and, be sexual as a man, you can feel free to do that on my other channel, which is linked below for you. But you won't find any of that kind of content here. And this channel is also not going to be for simp, beta, soy boy, and incel shaming, or saying who is a real man and who isn't, and what you need to do to be one, or for telling you what political or religious or other ideology to follow as a man. All right, there's going to be no shaming language here, no saying you aren't manly if you don't do this or that, or what I do. There's not going to be any sort of emasculating of men who some people might say aren't manly enough, because these types of things are all really just feminine manipulation tactics. All right, this type of shaming language and trying to manipulate someone's sense of gender identity, that's a feminine type of behavior that is very unbecoming of a man, right? This is the type of stuff you see in the feminist community, in the LGBTQ community, all right? We can't have any of that here, all right? And I'm here to unify us and unite us as men, not facilitate divisions and arguments, all right? The manosphere should be coming together as one. But there's too much infighting going on, and where certain men will do these things, it prevents us from forming a cohesive unit, and it just creates an atmosphere that's not supportive to masculinity. It doesn't help us. All right, so there's going to be none of that here, neither from me nor from anyone in the comments section. If I see that, I'm going to shut it down. While I do believe in free speech, I also believe in social intelligence and being able to read a room and act accordingly and do what's appropriate for that situation. And what I'm trying to create here on this channel is kind of like a support group. And you wouldn't go into a support group and start just bad-mouthing people, shaming people, saying, oh, you're not a real man, because you're, speaking about emotions and being too emotionally vulnerable or weak or whatever, right? Or, oh, you're not a man because you haven't gotten laid, in a long time. You're an incel. In trying to basically break down people's sense of their gender identity, who they are as a person, that's not the place for that. If you want to have those kinds of conversations, that's the type of thing that you do on Facebook and social media, right? Trolling people, happens there, but I'm not going to be able to let it happen here, all right? So you wouldn't go into a support group and do it. And I'm basically trying to create a support network for men out there in the manosphere who are trying to better themselves, all right? So in trying to create a supportive platform, I just have to ask people to treat each other with respect and some common sense and decency, like you would in any situation that requires social niceties like that. If you're looking for a place to practice free speech by spewing hate speech, random people who make your insecurities feel threatened by trying to better themselves, then you're in the wrong place, all right? That's what a support group is. It's people trying to better themselves. If you're not trying to do that with us, this isn't the place for you, all right? So read the room, either be polite, treat people the way you want to be treated, or go find a group that is, different and more for that. Now, a little bit about this channel. Everything on it is pre-scripted. I've actually written almost 250 pages of scripts now already for this channel. And I've arranged them in a linear fashion like a book, basically, which I will also be publishing alongside the channel. All right, it's going to be called the Masculinism Movement Manifesto. It needs to be fully edited and finalized first, but you can look, for that to be coming out sometime in the future. Topics are going to start with the basics and then get more and more in-depth and complex as time goes on, all right? They are arranged in a linear and progressive fashion. Since I have so much content, I'm going to be trying to put it out as quickly as I can, so you can look for new videos to be released all the time. Each video will be as definitive and to the point as possible, and I'll be labeling each with a simple title as opposed to having a lengthy clickbaity one, which should make the channel and its topics easier to navigate for you. The videos are going to be as short and concise as possible, but I'd also like to do some deep dives into some greater subjects, so there may be some videos that get to be as long as 20 or 30 minutes, and then there's going to be some topics that I do a whole series on, since it's too much for one video. And I'm going to start off this channel by talking about my background, and then the war on men, and the politics of masculinism and feminism, and then a video going over some important statistics, one on men's rights, and an answer to the question, what is a man? With extremely large topics, like I said, I'm going to split them up into series, and each video will be basically on a different subtopic, like I'm going to be doing with the topic of the sacred masculine archetypes, which is what I'm going to be doing after those videos. And the topics will continue to progress and get more and more advanced from there, going into psychology, sociology, the philosophy of masculinity, and, of course, addressing all of our political issues as well. So that concludes this short introduction about what this channel is and what it is not about, so you know exactly what to expect. Thanks for listening, and if you like the idea of this kind of content, then be sure to hit the like and the subscribe buttons so that you can be notified of future content. And lastly, check out the links in the description below for other resources for your masculine personal development and living the life you want to live as a sovereign man. And stay tuned for the next video coming out soon. And make sure you've subscribed so you'll be notified of when that is.